This is one of my favorite times of the year in the garden. Nothing is quite at its peak yet, but everywhere you look, there are signs that it's on its way. The lettuce is filling in, the herbs are beginning to take off, and the tomato plants are finally settling into their new homes. A few weeks ago, these beds were mostly soil and possibility. Now every day seems to bring something new. I think that's what I love most about gardening. It teaches patience. You do the work, trust the process, and little by little, the garden begins to reveal itself. This season always feels full of anticipation. The harvests are still ahead, but the beginnings are here. For me, gardening has never really been about perfection. Every year brings surprises. Some plants thrive, others struggle. Sometimes a late frost shows up. Sometimes a stretch of heat arrives before you're ready for it. But the garden has a way of teaching resilience. You adjust, replant, learn something new, and keep moving forward. I find myself coming out here every morning before work and again in the evening when I get home, just to see what's changed. A new leaf, a new blossom, a seedling that's doubled in size overnight. The changes are small, but they add up quickly this time of year. It's a season that asks you to pay attention, to slow down long enough to notice the details. I'm going to show you how to make my homemade granola. It's an easy recipe. It's a recipe that I make on Sundays or on the weekends to carry me through the week or carry me through a couple weeks. And I have my yogurt and granola every single morning. So I take it with me and I eat it once I get to work. So here is the how-to. So first, you need 3 cups of rolled oats. Just add it to a bowl. And then I'm going to use about a 1/4 cup of sunflower seeds, a 1/2 cup of pumpkin seeds. I have slivered almonds here. I like that in my granola, so I have about 1/2 cup here. And I'm going to add coconut. I love coconut. And so I just used the whole bag of what I shredded. So I guess this is about 1 cup. I'm putting it all in there. And then light brown sugar, I think it's about 1/2 cup. I'm going to put the recipe in the description. And then to this, you also add a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil and a 1/4 cup of honey. And just make sure you get all of the honey in there. And then all you have to do is just mix all of this together. So everything is coated with the oil and with the honey. Also, one thing I didn't mention that I want to add, I'm just going to add a pinch of salt. So about a teaspoon. And then just make sure that that gets all mixed into. So you want everything to be coated or have some sort of both oil and honey on there. If you have any brown sugar clumps, just make sure that you get those out. I've preheated my oven to 375 degrees, and now that everything is mixed, I'm going to add it to a parchment lined baking sheet and spread it out into a single layer. There's something about making your own granola that is so satisfying. It's so much less expensive, delicious. This is going to go in for 20 minutes. I'm going to check it and see if it needs longer. See what it looks like. Okay, so I think it needs just a little bit more time. So I'm stirring it up. Now I'm going to put it back into a flat, even layer so it can cook the rest of the way. So even though when I pull it out of the oven and it'll be nice and golden, it won't be crunchy yet until it cools. That's when your granola gets nice and crunchy. So I'm going to level this out again and then stick it back in the oven probably for about another, let's go for 10 minutes. Oh, that's good. I love it a little well done. This is perfect for me. So I'm gonna let this cool, and then I'm gonna break it into pieces. Okay, the granola has cooled completely, and I've broken it into little clusters. It tastes so good. You can taste the brown sugar and the honey, the coconut. It's really, really good. I always store it in an airtight container. So I just move it all into here. Okay, and I have a little scoop that I just leave in there so I could scoop it out. Lid on. And that's how I store my granola. I tore this tear sheet out of Country Living magazine 2 years ago. And I loved it then. I love it now. I bought all of the supplies needed 2 years ago also. Figured today is the best time to make it. So let's make this terracotta wreath. Okay, this isn't as easy as I thought. I started with these zip ties, and what is wrong with these? Genius idea, but well, they don't fit in the bottom of this hole. I moved on to floral wire, if you can see that. What I'm trying to do now is wire them onto the frame with this floral wire. However, it's easiest for me to just do it upside down and to flip the frame over. So I attach it from behind rather than through the front. And that way I can get everything tight and kind of in position. Takes some skills. So let's see, this is what I'm doing. I run the wire through the frame. I get so it stays put there. And then I cross the wire so it will stay in place. Okay, I have run out of wire, but here I am so far. I'm going to have Caroline pick up some more wire for me tomorrow from the craft store, and I will finish it. It doesn't look that neat, but every wire through each terracotta pot, I wired these two together and so on, so on, so. So that seems to kind of be the little secret magic trick. Definitely I have enough pots to go all the way around and fill in, so I'm happy about that, but I am out of wire, so to be continued. I finished this wreath off camera because I did it last night when I got home from work. And I'm glad it took me a minute. It looks messy. This is the back. But it took me a minute to figure out to combine all of the wires or kind of wire every pot together so they stay stable. It's not quite as full as the tear sheet, but in this case, I think less is more. And I'm hanging it on the back door of the garden house near my potting bench. I'm really kind of thrilled with how it turned out. You that are hardcore gardeners and are looking for a craft, this is a fun one to make. This is a quick tip to help your garden tools last longer. By cleaning them gently with a soft towel and a little bit of alcohol after every use or after every couple uses, it will prolong the life of your tools. First, I'm going to show you how I clean my garden shears. I have an old rag here, and I'm just going to squirt, oops, got a little crazy because it's full. Squirt some alcohol on the rag and then apply it directly to the garden shears, rubbing to get off that dirt and unwanted bacterias that you don't see. This is just a good tip to do it after every use, but I would recommend doing it after every few uses just to kind of keep them clean. Okay, let me show you. I'm going to clean my shears also, and I do clean these with alcohol after every use because they get really dirty and they rust very, very easily. If you do have garden tools that are rusted, a great way to clean them is simply with an SOS pad and Barkeeper's Friend. I'm not going to gatekeep anything for you here. I have found that the combination of those two products work like a charm because these have been rusted in the past, and it just takes a little bit of elbow grease. Let's just go ahead and rub these with alcohol, clean them up. All clean. I hope you enjoyed this great quick tip.